Perfect. Hi, guys. This is George from Dora Hacks, and welcome to another episode of the online workshop series hosted by NodeReal. Today's episode will be hosted by Jimmy Zhao, Senior Solution Architect at NodeReal, and he'll be talking to us about what it takes to build a customized application chain for an all-in-one gaming platform. For a brief intro into NodeReal, NodeReal is a one-stop blockchain infrastructure and services provider who provides scalable, reliable, and efficient blockchain solutions for all Web3 users. NodeReal aims to support the massive adoption, growth, and long-term success of the Web3 ecosystem. At DoorHacks, we are very fortunate to be partners with NodeReal and host events like these for our communities. For anyone in the YouTube or Binance Live chat rooms, please feel free to ask questions as we go, and I'll ask these to Jimmy later on. So without further ado, let's welcome Jimmy to present for us today. Welcome, Jimmy.
Thank you, George. I feel really honored to be invited here. And yeah, for those who are not familiar with NodeReal, maybe I can make a very brief introduction. Actually, NodeReal is one of the core contributors to the BNB ecosystem and BNB Smart Chain. And we are running over 70% the public node of the BNB Smart Chain, actually. And we are also contribute the innovative architecture designs and also as well as the code to the BNB Smart Chain to make BNB Smart Chain more stable and more fast. So I'm Jimmy, and I'm from NodeReal. Yeah, that's me. So let's get started. Today I'm going to introduce the scalable solutions for large scale applications. We all know that the large scale application has a scaling problems. So let's see what the challenges we are facing today. Actually, Elon Musk is really hot recently, especially he acquired Twitter, and he's very interested in the blockchain technology as well. So yeah, you can see here he has ever talked about how doggy speeds up, right? Just to increase the block size 10 plus or job freeze, etc., etc. Is that true? Yeah, of course. We can think about it, right? So whether you believe Elon's side or not, there are two ways to try to scale the blockchain. Basically, one way is just Elon said, increasing the parameters. It looks promising and easy and very attractive at first. And another way is to fundamental technical improvement. For example, we all know that Ethereum is going to do the sharding, is going to improve this parallelism processing and etc. Of course, the BNB Smart Chain also doing similar things, or change the architecture from scratch to make the chain more scalable. So if you do the math on the napkin, it is very easy to convince yourself that consumer laptop can process even thousands of transactions per second. There's no need to have kind of the ZK snarks or rollups or sharding required. Unfortunately, I must say, unfortunately, there are many reasons why this approach simply doesn't work. Right? Let's think about how this kind of the scaling solutions works. Let's see what do we have right now. Parallelism is, of course, is something we first think of, and I think most of the layer one scaling solution has been adopted parallelism already, but it's not a magic bullet. Often even clients of similar single-threaded blockchains are parallelized already. NodeReal, of course, contribute the parallel EVM in BNB Smart Chain as well. So after the parallelism is adopted, the signatures can be verified by one thread, and the execution is done by other thread, and there is a separate thread that is handling transactions post logic in the background, right? So if you get closer to 100% of usage all across all threads, the more energy draining running a node becomes, the lower your safety margin against the DDoS. That could be a problem. So that means you cannot just utilize 100% of the CPU to run a node. Of course, there are two other ways to try to scale the blockchain: the fundamental technical improvements, and for example, spend 100% of the CPU power to validating the chain. And you can also increase the network bandwidth. For example, if you have a 10 megabytes per second connection, that doesn't simply mean that you have a doesn't simply mean you have a very safe net to handle your block verification. And of course, you can increase the block size and to make your blockchain more scalable. So for blockchain to be decentralized, this is very crucial that we must allow the consumer products or consumer computer can run a node. Yeah, so to me, I think the sharding is a very good solution, but still in the very early stage. We are still in the research and development, and there is outstanding issues that need to be solved, especially the minimum number of nodes. What does that mean? Is that if you want to shard the data into different shards, separate the data into different shards, there must be a single there must be a limit that to the minimum number of nodes, right? For example, so that means no single node can process the whole chain, and you need enough nodes to at least to process the chain together. For example, if a single node can process 50 transactions per second, the chain, maybe if you have 200 nodes, that will process 10,000 TPS, right? So yeah, this is kind of things we can think of, but we have a lot of discussions, and I think the most core developers are concerned is the storage size. You can find the details about this kind of discussions on Vitalik general articles to have a deep discussion on this. In here, in this slide, I share a very brief questionnaire from a pool that how much hard disk do you have on a computer if you want to run a node, right? So most of them around 513 gigabytes to 1 terabytes. That's the maximum size we can have. And another outstanding issue is that the blockchain is a permanent ledger data ledger. So think of if you are going to query the data maybe 10 years later, how much storage do you have on your computer, right? So this could be a very big problem. So how do we do it? Besides the sharding and of course, just increasing the parameters, we have actually a discussion called app chains or application chain. This kind of the chains can be traced back to 2016. So at the beginning, I think the Cosmos or Polkadot released their white papers and engraved the concept. But it was not until the network, for example, the IBC or Parachain launched in early 2021, and Cosmos and Polkadot fully implemented the application chain. So at the same time, especially in the NFT or GameFi summer, due to the dramatic user growth, computing focused blockchain like Ethereum or BNB Smart Chain also facing the scalability and the gas issues. Maybe BNB Smart Chain is much better than the Ethereum, but also have the issue. We want to reduce, the gas issues as much as possible. So this resulted in great many alternatives. For example, the Polygon or zkSync or Starkware, Arbitrum, maybe Optimism. That came to the stage from 2019 to 2021, right? So in the Polkadot ecosystem, different application chains have different focuses. For example, the Polka DEX for the high performance order book, DEX. Fala is for privacy, Nodo is for IoT networks. So we cannot have a generic chain for all of our purposes, right? We don't have the silver bullet to solve all the problems with just a single design, right? So similar to the Polkadot, the Cosmos systems also have a different chains that implement an execution engine, including the EVM OS, or we call it EVM compatible, and Juno, Wasm smart contracts. On top of the general purpose chains, there are several specific applications that can be implemented in the application chain, right? So today we are at the end of the 2022. We already have, like the NodeReal, we just released the BNB application set chain that support the Fancy. Fancy is one of our partners to release their new games on the Fancy chain. We just released it. And we also going to support other kind of the roll-ups like optimistic roll-ups or the ZK roll-ups as well. So I think in the 2023, we are going to have more and more use cases that on top of the app chains. So to make it simple, I think the app chains is the solution that can support the large scale applications in the 2023. So that's why I would like to make introductions here. So to talk about the app chains, we have kind of different solutions from the BNB application set chain and to the Polkadot, right? So different solutions have different characteristics. I think the best app chain for your project depends on what you value. So every app chain provides the ability to customize the economic structure and the governance structure of your app. However, very widely in their performance, token economics or consensus and algorithm or accessibilities, we have to consider according to your business requirements, how much performance do you need? What kind of security model do you want to have? For example, if you are going to use the application set chain, usually it is depends on their own governance and the security foundations. But if you are going to use the roll-ups like the ZK roll-ups or other kind of the roll-ups, the security actually it depends on the layer one, right? So we have to consider that. So how do you consider this kind of things? As L1 is not scalable enough for large scale applications, at least for now, right? So we want to consider what kind of your application likes. For example, if you will you require high security and atomicity? If yes, basically the layer one solution is the best solution for you. But if you can compromise some of the security or atomicity, you just focus on the scalability, I think the layer two could be a good solution. And of course, if you want to have your full control, need your more customization, app-specific layer two solutions could be a better solution. Or if you want to have a full control and EVM compatible stuff, and application section could be an option, right? So we have different options. Actually, we have a couple of use cases. For example, a DeFi or game studios or game engines or Web2 giants. For example, the Starbucks and also Disney or Reddit, etc., are going to using the blockchain technology to support their business, right? So we can think about it, and when you design your application and choose your solution. Here is the very high level structure of the app chains we are going to support in the BNB ecosystem. And if you're familiar with this diagram, actually it is from the BNB Smart Chain diagram. We do have the beacon chain to manage the governance layer, and We do have the ZK rollups and optimistic rollups, and we also have the BNB set chain, which is also the POS ecosystem. So the best app chain for a project, you must think about how this kind of different app chains can suit your business. Let me make a very detail about the NodeReal solutions. Actually, we do have 3 types of scaling solutions to our customers. One is the application set chain. We call it application chain. You can see here the TPS could reach 1,000 transactions per second, and the gas fee is cheaper than the public chain. And but it has its own Samata enhanced security. Samata is our product name, so we have implemented our own enhanced security mechanism here to guarantee the security. And of course, you can have your own native token on the application chain, and by itself is EVM compatible. Another solution we can support for the large scaling solution is the ZK rollup. Basically, you can think of it as ZK BNB, actually. It is still in progress. At this moment, we can support 2,000 transactions per second, and the gas fee is cheaper compared to the public chain, compared to the BNB smart chain in the layer 1. And the security actually, it depends on the layer 1. So the security level is the same as the layer 1. And of course, in the ZK rollup, you can have your own native token. And at this moment is not EVM compatible yet, but EVM compatible is coming to in reality very soon. And the third solution we have is the optimistic rollup. It's coming very soon. The target TPS is around 500 TPS transaction per second. It's lower than ZK rollup and application set chain, but the gas fee is much cheaper compared with the public chain, or even to the ZK rollup and application set chain. And the security also depends on the layer 1, so it's very high, and it has your own native token, and itself will be EVM compatible out of box. So with different missions, we can select the suitable for different categories. For example, games or high frequency trading, or game engines like the Cocos or Unreal game engines, or social media. This kind of the different applications can choose different solutions. So in terms of a customization, we do have application requirements may be very different from ecosystem to special features. We have to mention that app chains are designed for single functionality or application. So in this case, we can reduce the latency even further by application chain, and even the distribution of resources. And from the customization perspective, we have the ecosystem customizations like the Polkadot or Cosmos. I think it is the beginning of the customization. Actually, it's built on their application on the app chains. Different app chains have different focuses, like the Polkadex for high performance order book for different privacies. We also support different solutions for different use cases. Another kind of the customization we can do is the application requirements. So when larger applications want to make some trade-offs, for example, for the throughput, fees, security, and the composability, that we can make customization according to this particular case. So, and we can also add extra features. For example, we can provide the gasless transactions, or we can provide the token flow automation or token economy design, this kind of things. even the governance customization we can also do in the application chain. Yeah. So yeah, so this is the NodeReal service we can provide to our customers. One is the tokenomic design, and we can also make customizations for consensus and governance, and also chain configuration optimization. For example, to change the token time, or and also the parallelism method, or even the governance design. So next, I will go to introduce one use case we have already succeeded released to public earlier this month. It is called the Fancy Chain. Fancy Chain actually is powered by NodeReal Samita, which is our application set chain. So we provide the maximum QPS around 5,000 transactions, and average latency is around 15 milliseconds. And we did a lot of customizations work on the Fancy Chain. For example, the special transactions to support the play to earn model, and to support even the airdrop. And we also optimize the token flow, for example, the rewarding for the block generation verification, and also the gas fee distribution. This kind of the customization we have support the tokenomics design. And we also optimize the runtime for the better gaming experience. That means we can provide the real-time runtime upgrade. So avoid as much as possible avoid the hard fork to have the stable platform for the game studios. Actually, Fancy is a project maintained and owned by Netmarble, who is I think the biggest game platform in South Korea, and they are going to collaborate with different game studios, and game studios have their own game titles to release on the Fancy Chain. So we did a lot of work together to support the game studios to design their own plane-to-earn model, and to allow them to allow the gamers to transfer the assets from the Fancy Chain to the public chain through the interchain gateway. For example, if you want to transfer a NFT or token from your game to the public chains like the BSC or Ethereum, that could be possible by our solution. Besides the chain architecture themselves, we also provide the high speed RPC endpoint, and also the validator setup, and staking and governance, and Explorer. This kind of tools and the developer APIs is also supported by us. I think it's really exciting project we have collaborated with the GameFi industry. Yeah. Next, I'd like to introduce a little bit detail about how the customization is like. First, I think is the proof of stake authority governance. We can allow users to manage, the active validators to manage their validators pool. So any active validators can propose and vote to add new validators to the pool, and it is transparent and in control governance. And the governance rules, for example, the quorum threshold, or who can execute the proposal, this kind of the rules can be configurable at the Genesis contract, smart contract. Another thing we did for the Fancy project is that we provide kind of the chain upgradability. So it's based on the GET template. We added a customized template, and to upgrade the runtime upgrade, to change the configuration, and can easily to upgrade the chain from time to time to meet the customer's requirements. And another thing I'd like to mention is that we did a design of a guest list transactions, which is going to support a senders from a web list. So the admin can define the web list who is going to who is able to send the the gasless transactions, and in which case the admin can change the configuration on time in real time, so they don't to upgrade the chain itself. And this kind of the gasless transactions very useful for the GameFi industry, because sometimes you want to promote some kind of items or provide kind of the airdrop to the gamers. So this kind of things we also customize for the GameFi industry. And we also support the application chain bridging, as I mentioned earlier. With the security bridging, application chain users are able to transfer their assets back and forth from the public chain. And through the bridging actually is a network layer. And on the application chain, we deploy the token vault contract and the packed token contract to guarantee the security. And not only the fungible tokens, but also the NFTs, and can be transferred back and forth. Next, I'd like to talk about the NodeReal ZK rollup solution. It is also already online that we can support our customers. The ZK rollup actually is much faster than BNB Smart Chain, so you can have the high performance, and the gas fee is quite low, even almost to zero actually, up to 98% of gas fee feelings compared with the BNB Smart Chain. And it can be easily to deploy because it has been open sourced. You can find the ZK BNB Git repository on the GitHub, and you can just follow the steps in the GitHub and deploy your node. It's very straightforward and easy to follow. So if you are a developer, you can just go ahead and try by yourself and ask questions or raise your concerns, even find bugs, and contribute by yourself. So let's see how it works. You can see in this diagram on the left hand there is a layer 1 blockchain. We have the ZK Smart contract that monitor the tracks events on the BSC and translate them into the transactions on the ZK BNB. And we also have the verify contract to verify the ZK snarks by on the layer 1. On the layer 2, the ZK rollup, we have a committer. Committer actually is going to execute the transactions and produce the consecutive blocks, right? And we also have the witness to re-execute the transaction within the block and generate the witness materials for the prover. Then the prover generates the cryptographic proof based on the witness material, and the sender is going to send the rollups, compress the layer 2 blocks to layer 1, and submit proof to verify it. Then the verify contract can verify everything to guarantee the security. Besides this, we also provide the API server, and API server actually is the access endpoints for the most users. It provides the rich data, including digital assets, blocks, transactions, and gas fees. And we also provide a mechanism called recovery. It is a tool that recovers the sparse Merkle tree in Kiwi rocks based on the state world in the PostgreSQL. So this is how the ZK rollup looks like, and yeah, you can just use it out of box already. So ZK rollup is at this moment is not EVM compatible yet. We are on the road to make it EVM compatible. So at this moment, we focus on the most common business, for example, the NFT marketplace. So the ZK BNB actually serves an alternative marketplace for the NFT issuing, using, and pay and exchange assets. The ZK BNB and BSC share the same token universe for the BNB and the BEP20 and NFT tokens. So the same token can circulate on both networks. The flow between them is bi-directional. That means the via layer 1 to layer 2 communication either way. And the total circulation of the same token should be managed across two networks. For example, the total effective supply of a token should be sum of the token total effective supply on the BSC and the ZK. And tokens can initially be created on the BSC, for example, the BEP20, and then tagged into the ZKBNB. And it is permissionless to peg tokens onto ZKBNB. In this diagram, it actually shows the framework of the NFT marketplace in ZKBNB. All the buy or sell order, metadata of the NFT collections, media resources, account profiles, actually are stored in the backend of an NFT marketplace. Only the content hash, ownership, or kind of the creator treasury read or other fields are recorded on the chain, on the ZKBNB chain. And we also provide a mechanism to encourage the price discovery. Anyone can place buy and sell offer in the marketplace without any fees, since the offer is cached and in the backend instead of it being sent to the ZKBNB directly. Once the offer is matched, an atomic match transaction that consists the buy and sell offer will be sent to the ZKBNB to make the trade happen. User can also cancel, an offer manually by sending a cancel offer transactions to disable the backend cached offer. So it's quite flexible. Besides the NFT marketplace, another very easy to use function is the native name service. So you don't have to worry about the long addresses on the ZKBNB. Every account on ZKBNB gets its short name. For example, I can have the jimmy.bsc or something. The user can use that to store the funds and receive any cryptocurrency. And it is 100% compatible to the layer 1 layer 1 wallet. And ZKBNB also supports the ECDSA signatures to follow the EIP 712 signing structure. So you don't have to worry about the wallet when you are using right now. So this kind of is fully compatible. Yeah, that's pretty much I have today. And I'm very happy and willing to hear your questions or concerns or feedbacks. That would be very fantastic. George, give back to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you for your time, and thanks for your fantastic presentation. That was really, really insightful. I'm just having a look to see if there were any questions from the community. I don't think there were at this stage. A question that I had Jimmy in the meantime was, what do you see as the biggest challenges for Web3 developers within this kind of space, and when kind of building like a customized application?
I think at this moment, I think the use case and how to choose the correct solution is the biggest challenge for the Web3 builders. I would say I really prefer the word Web3 builders. Let me go back to the page of maybe here, right? Mm-hmm. So we have different kinds of the solutions. So if the Web3 builder is not confident or is not comfortable about what their current technology is, so what is the most important factor when they choose the solution? For example, if they are very performance sensitive, then ZK rollups or application sidechain could be a good option. But at the same time, you have to think about whether you have the scenarios about using the EVM compatible smart chains, smart contracts, these kind of things. So you have to think about your business nature and select the best fit solution from my perspective.
Yeah, yeah, no, makes sense, makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, what do you think in terms of the these solutions, right? Do you believe that out of these four, do you think that at the moment we're obviously seeing a lot of traction, a lot of heat around the ZK rollups? Do you think that will continue, that trend will continue coming out of this kind of current market condition and into the bull market again?
Um, yeah, that's a really great question. I think not only the ZK roll up, but also the ZK snark. I mean, this kind of the proof is very helpful for the industry. It's not, for example, the ZK roll up is just one of the application. The ZK snark can also be applied to other kind of cases. For example, to provide the proof of the reserve or provide kind of the identity, this kind of things, so that we can connect the different dots into lines to make it to market more and more better. So I think the ZK Snark is just like the, the best tool, or maybe best tool is too progressive. It's a very good tools to solve a lot of difficult problems. So scaling is one thing. Do you remember that in the Web2 industry, the daily active users can be billions or even more, right? But in
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Web3, we are still in the very early stage. So what is the blocking issues? Of course, the scaling is one thing. Another thing is that the security and the easy to use, the social recovery, the wallet, because and the other kind of things. So not only one solution can fit all the use cases, but yeah, I believe this kind of the scaling solution is the first step we can take to make the industry better.
Yeah, fantastic. No, absolutely. I agree with that for sure. Um, all right, Jimmy. Well, I think we'll conclude there. So, thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and a very special thanks to Jimmy, obviously, for joining us today and giving us some fantastic insight into building a customized application chain. We really do appreciate your time and effort for bringing us such a wonderful workshop today. So on Door Hacks, we do have a range of sessions like today's coming up in the future. And we have also hosted previous sessions with NodeReal that are available for you to watch on our YouTube. So for everyone in the audience, if you are interested and you haven't already, please follow us on YouTube and Binance Lives, so that you don't miss out on any of the upcoming sessions that we're going to host for you. And so you, of course, can watch the previous sessions which we have hosted. So thanks again for joining us today, and we do look forward to seeing you in the near future. So thanks again, guys, and thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, George.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
See you next time.
see you.